Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one rated sportsbook app out there. I'm your host, Rudo, joined by AJ Hafley.
You said that like it was a question. You're like, joined by
AJ
sponsored
Hafley?
by DraftKings Sportsbook?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing a Q&A show today, so that's somewhat accurate, I suppose, for the show. Taking questions from Twitter, taking questions from the live chat. Jump on in over on YouTube, like and subscribe, all that goodness for us here. Happy Thursday indeed, except for if you are Mikko Rantanen, who gets fined $2,000 for diving, and I'm deeply confused as to when this happened. Do you know when this happened, AJ? Because I'm looking through these games, and he hasn't taken a penalty for diving.
Yeah, I posted the link.
You did post it? All right, yeah. I haven't seen your post. Let me go see what it looks like.
It's pretty unspectacular.
I see. Yes, it sure looks like there's a stick underneath him.
I don't know. There were some people that were like, "That's a dive," and there were other people who were like, "No way." I don't care. I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can look at another in hockey anyway, given the prevalence of ice and all the other physics in play. I don't know how you can stand back and say that guy dove. Like I think it's pretty obvious in basketball. Like those guys are like the floppers of the floppers. But the vast majority of time in hockey, I'm just like, I don't know.
I mean, so I have a couple of thoughts here after seeing that play. One, if he dove, he dove. I don't care. It doesn't really matter.
No.
Can we find the refs $2,000 for calling penalties when people just fall over away from people?
Yeah.
And two, doesn't Nazem Kadri do that like every game?
Yeah.
How has he not been fined for diving yet?
Yeah. The fun part of the getting fined for diving is that it requires a warning first.
So at some point he had been warned about this.
The March 23rd game against Arizona, he was warned about diving. And I don't have video on that one. But this is apparently
word on that one, yeah.
Yeah. And the other fun thing that I learned about these diving rules, I knew that they were fines, but coaches are responsible for their team, and any player on their team who is assessed a fine for diving, he gets like a hole in the punch card. And
it's like penalty points, yeah.
Yeah, and after four players, after four diving fines, the coach starts to get fined as well.
Okay. This seems like an extremely deep and convoluted system for something that doesn't come up very often.
And it's so silly because as everybody has pointed out today, the maximum fine is $5,000.
Yep.
So they start at 2,000 and then they go to 3 and then 4 and then they
5.
Well, after that, every infraction is just $5,000 because they can't go any higher. That's the most that they are allowed at all to fine anybody for anything. So anybody with any kind of a snarky comment on how this relates to Tom Wilson, guys, there's nothing they can do about that.
Well, once they decided not to suspend Tom Wilson, the decision was made that he was getting a $5,000 fine, which is the most. So
yeah. Do we want to talk about that last night?
Sure. I mean, we can.
Do you have any strong feelings about Caps Rangers, or was it basically just Dops didn't do anything, so the players did?
Yeah, the NHL had to know exactly what they were going to get when they didn't suspend Tom Wilson there. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. So George Peros went to the game, and it was like, was that supposed to be a deterrent? Like, does that mean George Peros is going to like fight them in the locker room or something? Like, what's the deal here?
I can't wait for Buchnevich to get 3 games for cross-checking a dude in the face, and a well-deserved 3 games. Don't get me wrong, but it's gonna be funny when that dude gets suspended, and Tom Wilson did not get suspended.
Rolls right along.
Yeah,
another day in the life.
Yep. So,
yeah.
the
McKinnon thing last night was stupid because he clearly gets hit in the face on a follow through, which is not a penalty.
Yeah, the same thing happened later. I think Burakovsky hit someone in the face with a follow through, and they didn't call that either. So
yeah, it's not a penalty. So McKinnon throwing a fit about something that's not a penalty is stupid. Him getting tossed into the box for that is stupid. The ref apparently having that short of a fuse to toss him into the box is also stupid. I don't know. I think you have to do something egregious to be called for an unsportsmanlike just for whining at a ref. To have a quick trigger and get thrown into the box like that quickly into a game is like. Let's
be real. Historically, to get an unsportsmanlike, the mics have to pick you up saying something you shouldn't.
Yeah. It was the whole thing was just ridiculous last night. But $250,000 fine for the Rangers today for their statement questioning George Peros' ability to do his job. Do you have any problem with that?
Do I have a problem with the fine? Absolutely. Did I knew it was coming? Absolutely. Do I think the Rangers would do it again if the fine was 10 times what it was? Absolutely. It's the most pointless fine that everyone knew was going to happen anyway, that never should have happened in the first place because you shouldn't have screwed up. And the NHL has deemed any decision from referees or decision from the Department of Player Safety or internal decision that gets back-talked, even if it's a dumb decision, they fine you. That's how the NHL has always worked. That's how every major sports league works. Let's be honest. Let's not just put the NHL down here. And it's a weird side of sports that I've never particularly liked, but it's always been there. And to a certain extent, the NHL has to protect its product, right? But maybe they could protect its product by putting people into positions that actually do their job better.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And like I said, the New York Rangers, of all people, do not care about $250,000 for a single second. So I have no doubt they made a bunch of fans when they took 100 penalty minutes in the first period of that ensuing game. So
yeah, I don't know, man. It's not hockey's best moment.
It is not. No argument there. I'm curious to see if anything does actually come of this for the Department of Player Safety.
No, nothing is going to happen. Nothing will change. I think the league has only looked at all of this and looks at their behavior and looks at their decisions and says, "We did a great job here. High five, fellas."
You think so?
Look at how many people watched Wednesday's game. This is such a great part of our game. We have to protect this part of our game. We have to continue to encourage the players to police themselves because it is such a respected and well-liked part of the game. Look at how many people turned on that game that they otherwise would not have cared about just because they thought something crazy was going to happen. And it did. Good ratings all around. High fives.
I like this. I'd like to think someone at the NHL has some deeper thoughts than that, but I can't say for sure that they do.
The Rangers were already eliminated from the playoffs. Them losing to Panarin and Buchnevich
made no difference.
Whatever their thoughts and feelings are about it,
they were still eliminated regardless.
from a competitive standpoint, it just didn't matter.
Yep.
And I think that's exactly what the league is going to see, and they're just going to be like, it's all good. All good.
Since we're on the top of the Rangers, we did get a question from your boy Luke from Winnipeg. With Drury now the GM over there, do you think they could make good trading partners? And what's one trade that they could make together potentially?
We should have just talked about the Rangers this whole episode.
I guess, yeah.
That's some drama, man. I mean, you get rid of Jeff Gordon and John Davidson.
Yep.
2 years into a rebuild that every other team in the league is envious of.
Yep. It's definitely some wild times. And I haven't taken David Quinn with him yet. So
yeah, David Quinn, last man standing, easily the guy of those three, the guy that is
gone.
easily the worst at their jobs. So, wow, just terrible. What is a trade that they could make that would benefit both teams?
That'd be real tough to find, probably. Let's see. Let's pull up Cap Friendly. See what's reasonable here. Because they're not going to trade any of their young kids. At least not for anything.
Yeah,
reasonable.
there's no Kakao, there's no Lafreniere, there's no.
Yeah.
You're not me. I mean, Colorado doesn't really need help defensively.
If so, maybe there's a world where Ryan Strome's revitalization is for real, and he's going to get paid in 2 years, and the Avs can get him as like a rental next year, something like that, for the last year of his deal.
I mean, they need him though. That's their 2C.
Well, I know, but if they go into next year and he continues to play as well as he does, he's due for a significant raise. So maybe there's a world where they don't want to pay him. That's like the only thing I'm thinking of. But
I feel like
because they have to pay Zibanejad the same year.
Well, and I feel like they're that left wing spot, which has always been kind of a weak spot for Colorado. They have Panarin, Kreider, and Lafreniere.
Yeah, but
that's where I would try and look and use Colorado's surplus on defense to try and shake something loose there.
It's just so tough. I don't like. Yeah, the Avs would have to do some magic to find room for Kreider's contract. Is the only thing. But
well, and that's where maybe they retain on something. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that there is a great fit there. Those are two teams that just
things don't quite line up too well.
Byron for Kakao, who says no? Colorado says no in about 4 seconds.
That is not hard for Colorado to say no to. As much as I love Kakao,
and I only give them 4 seconds because they're stunned that the call got made. After what Kakao's done his first 2 years, absolutely not. You could still believe in a young player, but there is absolutely no way you're going to take the chance that guy after those 2 years.
If you want to make that conversation interesting, you do Kakao for Timmins.
Well, then the pendulum swings all the way in the other direction,
right? But I think that's more realistic because you're making some sort of a conversation where you're saying, "Hey, both of these guys have upside."
Yeah, I mean there would have to be ads. From
yeah, there'd be like a second round pick or whatever. Yeah,
there would be more there, but
for Byram, it's just a hard no.
Yeah, for Byram, it's a non-starter. For Byram, that's a Lafreniere conversation.
Yep.
And even then, it's so. I mean, if you're Colorado, you just want to see how this whole Byram Gerard Makar thing plays out, right?
Why would you mess with the four Norsemen? There's just no reason to.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
at very least until Byram's ELC is up, there's just no reason to touch it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The Avs are going to be. an interesting trade partner with anyone in the coming season. I think they might be very specific things that they're looking for and nothing else. So it'll be hard to pick out trade partners. We'll put it that way.
Other bit of news: Justus Annunen added to the Eagles roster.
Well, yeah, he'd been signed officially in North America now.
Yeah.
Expectation that he gets a couple games this year, I assume. From you, AJ, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Give him all the games, dude.
A couple questions from Twitter, and the big question at that position for the Avs over the next couple of years is going to be what are they going to do? Because obviously Grubauer free agent at the end of this season, but then you still have Francouz, you still have Werner, you have Trent Miner balling out in the WHL this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting pretty crowded all of a sudden in goal for the Avs. So we'll see exactly how this plays out. I think the one real expectation that you and I have is that Annunen will be either a tandem guy or perhaps take the starting job in the AHL next year.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
And everything else somewhat up in the air, to say the least.
I mean, they kind of put themselves into a corner with the whole Trent Miner thing. Yep. It wasn't looking great, and then the way that he popped off this year, they may not realistically have space for him because they gave
Peyton Jones and all these other dudes deals.
They gave Tremesco the 2-year deal, and that was mostly for expansion requirements.
Yep.
Which was fine business. I don't have a problem with it, but you just weren't planning on Trent Miner popping off the way that he did.
Definitely true.
Flat out. So,
yeah. In any case, can do one more question here in period number 1. There's a quick, easy one. Chris asks, what happens on the bench when a stick breaks? Are equipment managers eagle-eyed on everyone all at once, or is there a call-out by a coach or player? Do teams practice game speed stick handoffs from the bench? So
they don't practice it.
No. They don't practice it. Generally speaking, it also depends on where the stick gets broken. If they're far enough away and the stick manager can realize who it is and as they're coming to the bench, he can grab one of their sticks and hang it out for them. If it's like a bang, bang play type of thing, you'll see players just grab somebody's stick. Like anyone on the bench will reach their stick over and a player will just grab it. So it varies.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get to this question because I get another chance to rap on my pet peeve. If your stick breaks on the penalty kill, just go to the bench. Just go to the bench.
There's nothing more annoying than sitting there watching a guy like
try and be a defender without a stick.
You're like,
do nothing.
That guy's ignoring you completely.
Yep.
The second that he wants to dance around you,
he will.
He's going to.
Yep, agreed. It's so funny. I wonder if there's no way that anyone even would have the ability to track that stat accurately, but how much more effective are power plays after a broken stick?
Or maybe just at least an increase in shots or
sure.
Maybe a quality. Because it's usually the guy up high.
Yep.
That gives away his stick or what? He's the guy who ends up without a stick.
Right.
However it plays out, that's the guy who ends up without a stick.
Yep.
And so it's like the guy from the point can shoot pretty freely now.
Yeah.
Or he can just walk around that guy and shoot pretty freely.
Yeah. It's I don't understand it, but in any case, we can take our first period break with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. You can head on over there this weekend, bet on the fight, the main event, pick a winner. You can get $1 bet to win $55 when you sign up with a new account using that DNVR code that you see at the bottom of the screen. Jump on it, get $55 to bet on whatever else you would like on DraftKings Sportsbook. They have odds boosts for all of the big sports every single day. You can also bet on other crazy and wacky sports. If you're not into the Big Four, they got you covered. It don't matter whether it's table tennis or cycling or anything else you like to watch. You can get in on it at DraftKings Sportsbook. So download their top-rated sportsbook app now. And again, use that DNVR code when you sign up to get the $55 for $1 bet bonus. Get on it today. Colorado only. Must be 21 or older. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. And if you need a little bit of extra cash to throw into DraftKings Sportsbook, go to Gabby Insurance. That's GABI.com/DNVR. The average user saves $961, and it's completely free to use. You can go over to Gabby. You can plug in your current home and auto insurance, and they will tell you how to save the most amount of money annually on both of those things. It's great. It's easy. You don't even have to do very much. They'll just be like, hey, if you go over here, you'll save $350. So why not do it? It's super awesome. Can't recommend it enough. It's basically just finding money in your pocket at this point. So go over to Gabby, get that money, spend it on DraftKings Sportsbook, spend it on thednvr.com, get yourself an annual subscription, go buy a Four Norseman shirt or the annual subscription. It comes for free. So jump on it because the Four Norsemen ain't going anywhere. The Avs looking pretty good at the moment. The Nuggets will not say die if you want a Nuggets shirt. You also get a free mask.
What the Nuggets did last night to the Knicks was so funny.
The discrepancy between the West and the East is something.
Dude, we're going on like 25 years of this. It's a joke.
It's weird because the NHL used to be the same way. Like the
East was like the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah,
and
the West was very much the quicker side of the NHL to adopt the skill side of hockey in the 2000s and yeah, even going into the 2010s. Like watching the West Coast game versus an East Coast game was a world of difference, honestly. And obviously there's exceptions to that, Crosby and the Penguins, etc. But it was just weird. It was weird to me to see how all of that played out. Yes, as has been demanded of you many times, you said you would tell some backstory on EJ Shattenkirk trade on our next Q&A show.
Okay. I can't give particulars.
Yeah, sure.
There are certain specifics that have to get left out, but we'll just say that a player was caught in some tomfoolery of some kind, and ownership was upset about it and said something has to happen here. And so the Avs called around the league and
got something done.
Found a taker. And they found a dance partner in St. Louis, and Eric Johnson. And the only way that they were going to move Eric Johnson was if Shattenkirk was involved. The Blues absolutely were not going to do it without it, and Colorado was not in a position to really negotiate at the time based on the demands from management and the inciting incident. It turns out that if you're going to be a player and you're going to engage in certain levels of tomfoolery, you should not do it at the Pepsi Center.
There you go. So a little nugget for you there.
Don't do it at the Pepsi Center.
Don't shit where you eat. It's the basic conversation right there. All right. I think that more or less covers it.
That's why it was like, so they had a locker room problem. They had a maturity problem, and there was a reason that they made 2 big deals in like the matter of days, because they were trying to move some dudes out,
and one of them at 11:30 p.m. at night.
Yeah. Well, one of them was like, "Oh, well, this thing happened, and management is upset. You need to make this happen immediately.
Yep.
You have 2 hours. 1, 2, 3, go." And they got Eric Johnson out of it.
Not too shabby.
And the first round pick, which they actually got lucky on, because that was a top 10 protected pick, and the Blues finished 11th.
And
then it was Duncan Siemens.
Bottled the pick heavily, but that's a different conversation.
Yep.
All right. Let's get to this question. Meeks asks, what is something about being a new fan or the new fans do that you are envious of? And what's the best way for longtime fans to help new fans embrace the sport?
So the easiest thing that longtime fans can do to help new fans embrace the sport is stop being gatekeeping assholes and
100%.
let new fans love the game and love the sport the way that they want to.
NHL fans, and I'm not calling out anyone in particular, but there is a big culture of not liking fair weather fans in the NHL. Almost every fan in the history of fanning has started out as a fair weather fan before they got more into the sport.
Right. We were all filthy casuals one day.
Yeah.
Get off your high horse, Chief.
So, but embrace them.
The biggest thing is if this is just from my perspective, okay? This is from purely my perspective, which is a limited perspective, in which we cannot I can't speak for other people. I can only speak from my experiences. But seriously, dudes, you need to stop being turbo jerks to women. If women want to be hockey fans because they think a player is cute or whatever, great. That is just as valid as you being a hockey fan because you like the way a guy skates or shoots the puck or whatever. Just chill. It is perfectly allowed. Okay? And if that leads into a deeper fandom for that person, great. That's awesome. If it doesn't, that is also awesome. Let people like stuff. Okay? Let people like stuff. This drives me crazy. Kira mentions this. I can't imagine what it's like for y'all to live through this, but you do not need to quiz women on how the depth of their knowledge to validate their fandom. Okay? This is not a thing that needs to happen.
I think it looks like Allie might have something to say. Yeah.
Exactly. I totally think that quizzing people, anyone, on certain knowledge does not show that you are a true fan. It just shows you can memorize facts. Just have a conversation with someone. I think you said it, AJ, being a woman sports fan, you get always criticized of, you only like it because you think a guy's hot or anything like that. And sure, some women might like it because they think someone's hot. They might think Lanny's hot, or they might just truly be like, whoa, this is a really cool sport. I want to learn it. It can be either or, and just embrace it. Teach. That's the one thing that I am a hockey fan, but I don't know everything and everyone in our company. And that's why we get our company rocks, is because we can all have conversations, and I can ask, Michaela can ask AJ Rudo, being
Michaela
like, hey, what
DMs
does
me
this
once a
mean?
day.
Yeah,
What about this? Because we want to learn more.
Allie learned very quickly to stop asking me how to pronounce names because I'll get them wrong. So
yeah,
I'm like,
also,
I call Rudo and he says this name, and then I call AJ and he's like, no. Okay. Oh yes, I will say the last thing about just women in sports and women in sports fandoms. I hate when everything is pink. No, I like black. I like gray. I like blue. Stop making everything shiny and sparkly and pink and bedazzled. And some people wouldn't like that. I'm just saying, don't make it all like that. But
yeah, you can keep that, but like, can you diversify the ladies' gear?
And I think like the way that a lot of the Avs fan base embraced Drew was so great. They loved how he just was like, teach me things, spinny goals. And I bet there were some people who were like, this is annoying. But there were so many people who were like, wow, all right, Drew, like, who's your favorite player? Do this, do that. Like, the way for your sport to be more successful is to have more fans. So gatekeeping it is not working to make your sport more successful on better channels, on national network. Like, embrace it. Let everyone love it. Like, especially hockey. It's such a freaking amazing sport. And it's so, so fun to watch. And people are going to go to the game and not know anything. Don't be a dick to them. Just what I got to say.
it's that easy. It's just that easy. Don't be
really like you're at a game. You're at a game because you want to be there, because you love the sport, because you're really passionate about it. Why in the world would you not want to share that with more people? For me, it's just like, I just want as big a community to be as passionate about this crazy thing that I am super in love with as possible. Like, I just want to enjoy it with as many people as possible. And when you see people just like, man, you're not a real something, that person sucks.
I was at a Buffs game and there was a timeout, so nothing was being played on the field, and my friend asked me to take some pictures of her and our other friend, and so I did, and this guy came up to me and started laughing and was like, you guys are just here for the pictures? Wow, I bet you can't name any player out on that field. So funny, so ridiculous. Go take your pictures elsewhere. And I was like, I was feeling myself. I was drunk, and I was like, "Oh, really? Do you want to talk about Katie Nixon, Laviska Chanel? Who else? Steven Montez? Do you want me to literally name you every single player on the field? Because I will. I don't need to, but I will." I was so angry. Like, there's no need. I can be taking pictures. Girls can be taking pictures, having a good time, just like guys do, and know the sport. That was probably the most infuriating thing that has happened at a game. I was like, just because they're taking a picture during a timeout, too. It wasn't like they were being obnoxious, like during a big play. Oh, it was the most annoying thing in the world. But
this reminds me, do you guys remember a couple years ago, the Diamondbacks game? There was a Diamondbacks game in Arizona where the broadcast was like making fun of these three girls who were on their cell phones the whole time.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And it was like, and everybody was just like on and on and on and on and on, right? About, oh, they weren't there to enjoy the game. They weren't why do you care? Like, why are you so invested in what they were up to and what they were there for, and why, like, what
they paid the money to be in there?
And like, look, there were a ton of empty seats around them. It's not like they were taking them from real fans.
Yeah.
Like, I get really, really frustrated by that. You want sports to be a welcoming place. It needs to be an inclusive place. It's supposed to be a place where everybody can go to kind of get away from some of the nonsense, right? And, you know, obviously there's a much bigger and deeper conversation that we will not be getting into. But how to make your sport better? Just let people like stuff.
let people like stuff. Exactly.
Sure.
Right.
Sometimes like explaining something can be annoying, but you can tell them like, oh wait, like even if you compare it to watching a movie, if someone like mid-movie, if you talk about Marvel or something like that, or Star Wars or Star Trek is like, wait, what's that? Like you're like, no, I don't want to talk to you. Okay. Oh, during like a timeout or during a commercial break, like I'll explain that to you. Like people just want to learn, and if they go to a game or they ask someone about something and they're shut down or treated like they are less than, then they're not going to like that sport.
Yeah.
They're going to have a bad association with the sport, with the fan base. And it's just not fun. Like you want people to like your sport and love what you love. And that way it gets better and better and better. Just be nice. Like it can be annoying. Someone said like, you can teach people when is the best time to take pictures or when is the best time to ask questions. Like it's just all about the way you phrase things and just be nice. Like it shouldn't be that easy that it shouldn't be like that we just have to say just be nice, but it is like it literally is just being a nice human and teaching people new things.
It's super weird to me that hockey in particular is so secular and is so there's so many people who don't want new fans coming in, and hockey is by far the smallest of the big four when it comes to fan base. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. Stop it. Just let people enjoy watching the game for whatever they like it for.
Yep.
All right. That question went very long. So
well, and we didn't even answer the first part of it.
That's also true.
What are things that we are jealous of new fans? Mine would just be getting to feel that intensity.
Yeah.
And experience like the speed of NHL hockey for the first time and just how it's like this is so different
having
live.
Now you and I do this as a full-time job and we're both into the prospects, and every year we're sitting like around and breaking down prospects skating strides, and they're like, he has power here,
right?
This guy's stride's kind of choppy. When you first started, it was like, oh, he's fast,
right?
I like that.
Why is that guy fast?
Yeah, I miss that too as well, because it's just I'm sure part of it is because I got into it when I was a kid too, but it's just I forget what I was watching, but somebody put it like back then everybody's going a million miles an hour and you live and die on every moment of every game, and it's like it's just awesome.
I mean, it's like you look at it now, like I wish I could totally give into that like unbridled fan joy side of things, like during the game 7s of the last 2 years, it's just kind of like what will be, and that's just sort of the attitude that I take with everything. And I'm jealous of the people who are just like every line change, every shot is like, oh, like something crazy could be happening here. And I don't necessarily have that anymore. I just have sort of a very, I go,
keep it on the level for sure. Yeah,
not a lot of that, man. I'm bipolar. I get a lot of this on its own, So that's how I would. Number one, let people like stuff.
Zerg is the superior race.
We're not getting into this
because they're Zerg. Look, all right, we don't have to agree on everything, but we can agree on Protoss sucks.
We can agree that Protoss is way too easy.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. But teach me. You guys would teach me in a nice way.
As long as you're not a Zerg player, then yeah.
Oh, get out. Get out. Take him off the screen. Dude, I've heard the GSL is popping off this season. I haven't been able to catch up because we've been so busy, but
we've been too busy.
Okay. Next question.
I have not watched the Landeskog interview on Spit and Chicklets. That's on my to-do list later today.
Yeah, we'll do one more before a second period break. This one is easy and to the point. Directed at you, AJ. Why the Spider-Man hate?
Because I hate how Peter Parker gets portrayed most of the time as very like quippy and Like he just has to say something all the time. All the time. Like Peter Parker is constantly, every single situation that they're in, he has to, like, he's like the guy that looks for puns in absolutely everything. It's the worst part of RK's personality, and it's the worst part of Spider-Man, is that he thinks he has to come up with something clever all the time. Like, there are some times where you can just stop making noise with your mouth.
I will say, there's so many times where Ryan doesn't, it just like instantly comes to his head, and I'm like, what the, why? But like, it's not even like trying, like, ooh, let me make this into a good pun. With him, sometimes he's just like, oh, no, 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 and I'm like, oh, I hate you.
His brain just works like that.
Some people were born to live the dad life, okay?
It works so fast. Like, his brain works so fast where he can think of something ridiculous to say so quickly. And I'm like, I when I laugh now, I like hate myself. I'm like, no, don't encourage him.
All right. On that note, this podcast is brought to you by Strava Craft Coffee, the CBD-infused coffee that has really changed lives. It helps with IBS, joint pain, migraines, many other things as well. And you can try it cold brew down at the DNVR bar before you buy. When you love it, you can get 25% off your first purchase online with code DNVR25. So get on it now. Get yourself some sweet Strava Craft. Drink it up. It's delicious. Support our partners. Y'all know how it goes by now. We're also brought to y'all by Chevalier Mortgage. Both Mike and Virginia have been in the business for an extremely long time. You can hit them up at DNVR Mortgage. Get yourself a free consultation and a chance to win some free DNVR merch. So why not? Why not? More DNVR merch. We got enough shirts at this point that winning one or two will just help flesh out the collection for you. You can also get yourself a great rate on a home loan. Plus, Mike is a certified financial planner, so he'll look at a lot more than just rate. Make sure you have the exact right home loan for you, looking at everything that you need to know. Again, you can visit them at dnvrmortgage.com or call Virginia at 303-257-6578. Michael Chevalier, NMLS 1931006. Virginia Chevalier, NMLS 1910631. And
would just like to clarify, I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That's a Spider-Man that I can get behind. Also, Into the Spider-Verse was excellent.
There you go. If you want pretty teeth like Tom Holland has, go to Green Mountain Dental Group. They can take care of you. They get cleaning, x-ray, and exam all scheduled up, and you'll get a free Sonicare toothbrush just for taking care of your teeth. It's a great deal. Green Mountain Dental Group is just 15 minutes from downtown, so they're super easy to get to, and everyone we've had switch over has said it's one of the best dental experiences they've ever had. So I know going to the dentist isn't fun a lot of the time, but you know what? Make it as good an experience as you possibly can. Might as well get a free Sonicare toothbrush so your teeth are cleaner the next time you go to the dentist as well. Nice. Cygnus buying a house out here. Everybody buying houses. Not me, though. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I don't know, chat. You got any live questions? We can answer some live questions too as I look through the Twitter feed.
You can redraft one Avs pick. What would it be? I mean, it's got to be Pastrnak and Bleakley.
Is that what that question is asking? Because yeah, that one's easy.
Yeah. The other one that the one that I think is more of an interesting conversation is Jost. Would you take McAvoy or Chychrun?
Boy, McAvoy would be interesting.
They both would be.
I wonder about Chychrun because yes, I know he's blossoming now, but the injury issues.
Yeah, he had a lot of injury problems to start that career. So,
what about you could take Brandon Saad instead of Duncan Siemens?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Or JT Miller, even.
JT Miller's there. There's a couple other interesting ones. Raquel.
I'm ready for the Mass Effect remake next week. I'm ready for it.
What's a realistic outlook on the EJ situation?
He waives his NMC,
and it's a non-issue.
He plays the final 2 years of his contract with the Avs, and they just deal with the $6 million.
Yep. When will we see Annunen in the Navs jersey? I'd be shocked if it wasn't at least not next year.
I don't think we'll see him next year.
I'd say 2023, yeah, at the earliest.
Yeah, we'll just see.
Yep, right. If the dude pitches 6 shutouts in a row, then you might see him.
Yeah. Yep, we'll see. I mean, a lot of the hype came off him this year just because he didn't play amazingly in the Liga, and he didn't need to.
How much has your channel grown this year with the Avs success? I mean, to be honest, our biggest show on YouTube is the Nuggets by like a wide margin, but I like to think we do pretty well on the Avs side.
I wish I could remember. There have been I've talked on a number of episodes about how I got here and my journey to where I am today. I wish I had some of those episodes for reference. It always comes up in Q&A shows though.
Yep.
But
it does.
I would say DM me, but my DMs haven't been working unless we're mutual followers. I get notifications for message requests and then I open it and there's nothing there.
That's weird.
Yeah, and so I'm just assuming I'm missing DMs from people.
If you're a member of the DNVR Lounge, you can always hit him up on Discord.
Also true. Yeah.
So that's a good way to get into my DM, certainly. Barron did not play with the Grizzlies. At least he hasn't played yet. I don't know if he got called back up or what, but yeah, not sure on that one, to be honest. Favorite Capri Sun flavor, AJ?
I don't know.
They're all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah, I agree. I will say, since you've been drinking them, favorite Kickstart flavor, since you finally tried that mango nonsense, whatever that was.
I think the grape one is probably my favorite, but I genuinely like all of them.
All right. Easy drinker over here.
Yeah. I just like stuff. I like to steal a line from Abed from Community. I guess I just like liking things. So
it's a good problem to have.
Except for the stuff that I don't like.
And then you really don't
like it.
Is it reading too much into the tea leaves with Newhook already being thrown in at 2C over Kadri?
Nope. I think it's absolutely an experiment that you should keep an eye on.
Do you really think about moving Kadri in the offseason though? Or do you just leave him as 3C or wing or whatever? I think that you absolutely look at potentially moving him if there's any kind of a market. If you can get Sod for like $4.5 million, 4.25, somewhere near the Tyler Toffoli deal, then I think you keep Sod on that left wing, and you look at replacing Kadri with Newhook there. If Newhook plays well enough to justify it, and if there's a market for Kadri that returns you something like meaningful, not like here's a 3rd round pick. Like, you're not doing it for that. I don't think it's too reading into the tea leaves at all. But I think a lot of things have to happen in order for it to get to that conversation. All right. Your penchant for ghosts has a quickly growing following, AJ. Okay. You don't have to tell any stories here, but someone asks, ghosts, for, against, or ambivalent?
I guess ambivalent, because I'm not really for or against them. They're just there.
Okay. So no,
I'm not like pro ghost or anti ghost.
You specifically aren't being haunted. You've just had ghostly experiences.
Yeah, I mean, there's one in my house, but he's chill.
All right. Chill Ghosts confirmed.
Yeah, I'm ambivalent. There you
go. Somewhere RK is giggling for no reason.
Yeah, he just burst out laughing and doesn't know why.
Amazing. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
That the ghost of DNVR just said boo to you.
Oh, I meant boo to his pun.
I know what you meant.
Boo as a joke.
I know what you meant.
I just wanted to make sure.
Ooh, that's actually somewhat interesting question that I don't know how well we can answer on the show. Who is the worst pro sports commissioner in North America?
Rob Manfred.
You think so?
Yep.
I can't say that I disagree. But
he's fundamentally changed baseball.
Yep.
Like some of the stuff I really like. Personally, I really like the runner on second base to start the extra innings. I think it's added a really exciting and interesting element to extra innings games. And it's not so much like, let's burn down each team's bullpen. Like, that's not the exciting element. I think that the universal DH is coming, and I think that will be good for the game as well. The people who are tweeting pitchers who rake every single day, enjoy it. It's just not something I care about, but 7-inning doubleheaders.
I have to say, I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate 7-inning doubleheaders.
Agreed. The 3-batter minimum.
Kind of
don't love that.
Yeah.
But by far the biggest thing that I don't like is the way that they are aggressively looking to destroy minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't be because of money. And I think that's such horse shit. And it pisses me off because these little towns have been supporting that system, and they've been a fabric of those communities for such a long time. And they just watching them dismiss all of the work and such an identity. It's such a part of the identity of some of these smaller towns that have supported minor league baseball. And for years and years and years, I'm just watching that get ripped away from those communities. It's such bullshit. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I just think it's garbage, and it's embarrassing for everybody involved.
There you go. I can't say that I disagree.
There are other problems with all the other commissioners, but
I mean, every league has its issues. But I do think there's a weird, Gary Bettman, honestly, has been a pretty good commissioner for the NHL on the whole.
I mean, I don't want to get into this. There are so many extremes in the pros and cons here.
Of course. And I mean, you had that conversation always ends up in, well, is it Gary Bettman or is Gary Bettman just the face of the owners? But
yes. Oh, Pavel Buchnevich got one game for high sticking Anthony Mantha in the
only
face.
One game? All right. Yeah. So they knew they couldn't give him more than one. Still ridiculous, but that will be that.
If Kovalenko comes over from Russia, I would try and put him on a line with Bowers and Kaut.
AJ, are you a box lacrosse or outdoor lacrosse person?
I prefer box.
Okay, me too.
I enjoy outdoor, but I like the smaller game. I just like the speed and the intensity of it.
Sure, yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. I like the pace of box lacrosse more than outdoor. The field lacrosse it can get slow. And
yep.
Box lacrosse is basically like it's forced to be played up tempo.
Yeah, agreed. I like box lacrosse significantly more as well. So
somebody asked earlier a dark horse Avs prospect.
I mean, you know who I'm gonna say.
For me, it's Lieberman.
I like that pick, but It's still Sasha Mutala for me.
So Lieberman has always been a toolsy guy. Can they teach him to play hockey? And it's getting there. I think it's intriguing.
Gotta like it. Whew. Are there any other like dark horse prospects that I really think have a decent shot? What qualifies as dark horse? Because I love Colby Ambrosio.
How can you not after the freshman year? I mean,
Yeah.
That was such an impressive showing. Slowed down towards the end, but
Still,
that's a classic freshman thing.
Yep.
Look, Steinberg has to prove that he's still alive.
Yeah, that dude hasn't played a hockey game in like 10 months.
Yeah. He's gonna have a Klerman-esque development path now.
Yep. All right, I'm just checking to see if there's any other questions on Twitter that are solid that I missed. Alex Newhook for Calder next year?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I think it'll be real hard. If Byram doesn't play any more games, he'd be eligible for it.
Well, I mean, Newhook or Byram?
I think, to be honest, I think neither, just because their opportunities will cannibalize each other.
You think? Despite being center and D?
Yeah. Because they're going to play on the second power play unit together. Like, and then that's how you end up with split votes. And I also think that I think the rookie class is going to be really good because we didn't see very many guys from this last draft immediately jump into the NHL. And then I think you've got that, and then you've got this next year's class that's getting drafted. And then I think you're going to have a strong influx of guys from the draft 2 years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
You're gonna get like,
I mean, Byfield will still be eligible,
right?
You have guys like Raymond.
Yep.
If
Holtz,
if Rossi's good to go, Holtz will be there. Quinn,
Perfetti.
Yeah, Perfetti too. Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot of guys, is what I'm saying. It's just gonna be a jam-packed rookie class. So I'm just because the guys on Colorado won't have the same level of opportunities because they've just got superstars for roadblocks already.
Yeah, you probably have Detroit probably pulls the trigger on Sider even next year. So
yeah. So I think it's just hard to see it. You don't want to discount the talent, but opportunity is a huge part of the determining the Calder.
No doubt about it.
Like if there was anybody good on Minnesota, Kaprizov might have had to sit behind that guy for a while. And instead it was like, come save us. And he's done that.
Skywalker asks, which pick will the Avs likely get this first round draft? Anyone in mind? We're not even sure. The Avs could still pick anywhere from 20 to 32. So it's a pretty wide range that it could be.
We'll have a little more clarity in the next week on their actual pick range.
Once they finish up.
Once the standings. Because, if they finish, you win the President's Trophy, you're picking no lower than 28th?
Yeah.
28th.
If you get eliminated in the first round, you would pick 28th.
I don't. Yeah.
If you won the President's Trophy, yeah.
Right. So that's where that is headed. So we'll see.
Yes, I haven't played much in a while, but I used to play Pogo with her all the time. Daniel. But now I play WoW instead.
I can't imagine. Look, this is the year to find an excuse to take a goaltender.
I don't know. It's just you pick whatever's there at the end of the first round, right? You just have a guy that is near the top of your list, if not the top that you like, and you take.
Yeah,
him.
I would say it would be really hard to take a defenseman.
Yep.
Like you're gonna have, if you realistically are gonna have Byram, Timmins graduated out of your system, and with Makar and Gerard, like that's four of your 6 regular spots like taken up. Justin Barron's already in the AHL. Drew Hallison is getting ready to go into his junior year, and then he'll sign, and then whatever. So I can see where they would say, hey, look, we need to reload this a little bit. It's getting a little empty. I just think it would be really hard to use your first rounder. Again, you only have 6 roster spots at that spot in the NHL. And 4 of them are going to be taken up by young guys as is. With Taves, he has 3 more years on his deal.
Yep.
So that's 5 of your spots that are taken up. And between Graves and Johnson, the next couple of years, you're already set there too.
And you already have Barron coming, yeah.
Yeah, Barron's already in the AHL. So it's just like, if a guy, if something happens and a guy falls to you, like a Cam Fowler situation or whatever, sure, of course, take the D. But when you're picking at the end of the first round, you can be a little pickier at times and be like, okay, we don't have a big grade separation on any of these guys. We're just going to take the guy that we need in a position. Take a goaltender. This is a great year to take a goaltender at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
But the position they could really use some jump in is forward.
And I mean, to Cygnus's question, this is considered the weakest draft in a long while. And the picks are going to be absolute nonsense this year, just given the whole situation with players playing minimal to, in some cases, basically no games.
Yeah, and I guess it just depends on how you feel about that. Yep. It'll either be that either means that there are more steals available, or
there are more misses.
Yeah. For me, I don't want any part of it, man, because it's all development time that they missed out on.
Yep. If it wasn't for Rex, I would never leave this room, DD. Basically. I spend all my time in front of a computer, whether it be back there recording videos or here recording videos or playing video games. I walk Rex and I go to the DNVR bar, and that's the only time I leave this room. I guess I sleep in my other room. That's fair.
I'm actually excited for the bar tomorrow because I want to try this Wagyu burger that everybody's going crazy about.
There you go. Get it. We'll see.
It's really good.
See?
I'm getting my second shot tomorrow afternoon, so if I'm loopy on the post-game podcast chat, that's why.
That'll be fun. I don't know how you could say Eric Johnson is going to probably retire unless you know Eric Johnson.
Yeah, I don't. And even if he was going to retire, it could easily be one of those LTI retirement situations.
Yeah, I mean, that would, from a cap perspective, that would help.
Yeah.
So, I love this. I love that Eric Johnson is old now. Like, the guy's 33.
Yep. All right. We're over an hour here. I think we're going to wrap up this show, but appreciate all y'all hanging out, asking questions, all those amazing things. Appreciate all of you very, very much. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video if you haven't. That does a ton for us here on YouTube. We would like to grow the channel where I don't think we've quite hit 12K subscribers yet on YouTube, but I would like to get to 100K someday.
We're close to 12,000.
I really want my silver play button, even if it's DNVR's and not mine. So yeah, help us and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you lots. We'll be live from the bar tomorrow at 11 p.m. when that game finally ends. So if you're up late on a Friday night, come join us for that.
Yeah, no free skate Friday, just a post-game show.
Yep, just the normal post-game show for us. All right.
Got some fun ideas for our next free skate Friday, though, next week.
Yeah, things could get interesting. Other than that, thank you again, and we will talk to you all later.